top 5 superhero versus superhero fights in the comics. The most recent battle on this list is nearly 10 years old as of this writing. However, we feel compelled to tell you that this list contains spoilers and will tell you the outcomes of the fights. Do not say that we did not warn you. This time, this list will attempt to boldly tell you what the greatest hero-on-hero battles were that were ever put into comics. We made some very unflinching bold choices on what to include as well as fights to leave off of this list. We fully expect that there will be disagreement with some of the choices on this list. That is why we will direct you to the comments section at the bottom of this page to air those grievances. 5. Superboy vs. Superboy, 2006. On its surface, the premise for the fight between the two Superboys in Infinite Crisis number 6 appears fairly ridiculous. The modern Superboy goes by the name of Connor Kent. Connor is a clone whose DNA is a hybrid between the DNA of Lex Luthor and the DNA of Superman. If this had been a Spider-Man story, angry villagers would have rushed the comic book offices of Marvel with pitchforks and torches. On the other hand, the second Superboy is known as Superboy Prime. Superboy Prime was the Kal-El of an alternate universe who was teleported to Earth by a desperate Jor-El. In the Prime universe, the superheroes all exist simply in comic books other than Superboy Prime. Superboy Prime was put into a paradise dimension after the events of Crisis on Infinite Earths destroyed Superboy Prime's home world and universe. It almost hurts the brain just to recount the story of how two Superboys even exist. When you get down to the basics, Superboy Prime is a Silver Age character and Connor Kent Superboy is a character from the modern age of comics. Connor Kent is horribly overmatched, but he needs to destroy the Multiverse Tower in order to save many universes. Connor Kent has his wrist broken during the battle. In the fight's defining moment, Connor Kent rams Superboy Prime into the tower. The tower explodes. Since Connor Kent is a modern-age character, Connor Kent dies a hero and we are left with the consequences. Superboy Prime is a Silver Age type character. Superboy Prime brushes off some rubble. Superboy Prime is fine overall. The entire story comes down to the expectations of the comic book reader. In the Silver Age, the reader would expect the character to be fine and move on. In the modern age, the actions often have consequences which reverberate for years. It is that conflict in storytelling which makes this such a compelling battle. 4. Donatello vs. the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, 1992. Mirage Comics had a briefly run anthology series titled Plastron Café. In the first issue of Plastron Café, there was an 8-page story by Turtles co-creator Peter Laird called Old Times. There are times when the best conflicts in comics are completely internal. This story takes place at some point in time in the future. Donatello is living in Japan. Donatello is aided by a young assistant named Chet. In order to stay in shape, Donatello is fighting holographic images of the Foot Clan and Shredder from back in his heyday. After the program is supposed to be stopped, Chet accidentally loads holographic images of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. They appear to be the classic Turtles from circa 1985. The turtle simulations include Donatello as a young turtle. Donatello orders the program to be stopped and the turtles fade away. In the iconic moment of the comic, Donatello removes his mask to reveal tears streaming down his face. We do not learn why Donatello is alone. We do not learn if the other turtles are even alive. The sight of the turtles together as well as the thought of fighting his brothers completely destroys Donatello. We are only left to ask why this would be happening. Without ever throwing a punch, the memory of the classic Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles had defeated the aging Donatello. It was only 8 pages, but the superhero versus superhero conflict portrayed was comic book writing at its very finest. 3. Hulk vs. the Thing, 1964. The Hulk had first encountered the Thing in Fantastic Four number 12. However, the first real fight between these two behemoths in Fantastic Four number 25-26 still stands out as the best of their rivalry. The story was written by Stan Lee and penciled by Jack Kirby. This story arc is also the first meeting between the Fantastic Four and the Avengers. As a matter of fact, The Hulk's motivation in fighting the Fantastic Four is a desire to destroy Avengers Mansion. Reed Richards is sick and unable to help in the effort to stop the Hulk. The Hulk quickly dispatches Johnny and Sue Storm. The Thing is the only one standing in between the Green Goliath and Avengers Mansion. The Thing is hopelessly overmatched. The Thing cannot actually defeat the Hulk. However, the Thing knows that the Avengers are on the way to the mansion. The Thing's objective in the battle is to last long enough for reinforcements to arrive. In order to accomplish this objective, the Thing must fight and stall the Hulk until he can fight no more. When the Hulk finally reaches the Avengers Mansion, the Hulk is greeted by the Avengers as well as the Fantastic Four. The combined forces of the two groups are enough to turn back the rampaging Hulk. The great thing about this story is that ultimately the reader is allowed to decide who won the fight. The Hulk clearly beat up the Thing. The Hulk also continued to fight the Thing until the Avengers regained their position at Avengers Mansion. The mansion was not destroyed by the Hulk. The Thing accomplished his objective in stopping the Hulk even though he was physically beaten down. Whichever side you were on in this debate, the comic provided you with a strong argument for your favorite character winning. 2. Superman vs. Captain Marvel, 1996. Superman and Captain Marvel have always had a contentious history. This started in the 1940s when DC Comics attempted to sue Captain Marvel out of existence. Eventually, Fawcett Comics gave up contesting the lawsuit. DC Comics later bought the rights to the Captain Marvel character. The truth of the matter is that the two characters extensively ripped off each other in the early days. For instance, Captain Marvel was actually flying before Superman. Captain Marvel also fought a mad scientist before Superman as well. Fans finally got a real chance to see these titans go at it in a comic book in Mark Waid and Alex Ross' Kingdom Come. The story of Kingdom Come is set in a possible future for the DC Universe. Billy Batson aka Captain Marvel has been manipulated by Lex Luthor for years. The final battle involves a jailbreak at a superhuman prison called the Gulag. Several factions of superpowered beings arrive to contain the situation while the United Nations votes to drop nuclear bombs on all of the superhumans. This leads to the final battle between Captain Marvel and Superman. Captain Marvel gains an advantage over Superman by calling down mystical lightning on Superman. Superman has a weakness to magic. In the battle's climatic moment, Superman grabs Captain Marvel's mouth so that Captain Marvel can no longer say the word Shazam. Superman reasons with Captain Marvel. Ultimately, Captain Marvel gives his life to stop one of the nuclear bombs. 1. Thor vs. Silver Surfer, 1969. This matchup was the acknowledged king of superhero versus superhero matchups for decades. Honestly, nothing has come along since that time to take the crown away from this titanic struggle. Silver Surfer number 4 was written by Stan Lee and penciled by John Buscema. The plot centered on Loki convincing the Silver Surfer that Thor was an evil god. This trickery led Silver Surfer to attack Thor in Asgard. Unbeknownst to either side, Loki was enhancing the Surfer's power cosmic abilities with Loki's own power. Keep in mind, the Silver Surfer is not any type of weakling with only the power cosmic at his disposal. This misunderstanding led to several pages of Thor and Silver Surfer beating each other's brains in with a sense of purpose. Silver Surfer legitimately wanted to destroy the evil of the Thunder God. Thor was trying to protect Asgard from destruction. The turning point came with the realization that Loki was behind the whole affair. The two heroes saw the goodness in each other. All the readers were left with was a dream matchup and fight for the ages. Subscribe now.